Mangalam, Bhumi Mangalam, Udaka Mangalam, Udaka Mangalam, Agni Mangalam, Agni Mangalam. It's the heart and soul of a profoundly spiritual place, the holy centre of a holy city. The Meenakshi Temple in Madurai, southern India. Madurai is by no means big by Indian standards. Just over 1 million people call it home. But they share their city with the ebb and flow of countless others. The Hindu faithful from all over India, drawn to this mesmerising complex of towers. Some seek blessings, some give thanks, and others submit their wishes for the future. It's a magical place. This remarkable temple has been drawing pilgrims on spiritual journeys since the 16th century. But we've come to this area to meet a man who's nurturing the souls of some of the forgotten people of this city. And there are many forgotten people like Pandi. He's been living in this pipe for more than 6 years, sleeping next to the filth of an open drain. Pandi is just one of an estimated 70 million Indians with severe mental illness. That's 3 times the entire population of Australia, and many of them simply abandoned. What do you think about those families who just dump their relatives on the street? What do you think about that?
Equal to murdering. It's a very cruel attitude. They're not supposed to do that.
Many come from far away to look for the meaning of life here in this temple town. Krishnan Narayan didn't need to go anywhere. It was right outside his door.
These people are my inspiration. I take energy from them.
And now, 3 times a day to a growing and appreciative clientele nearing 450, he's making it his life's mission.
We are feeding these type of people, mentally ill people and the old people who have been left uncared on the roadside for the last 9 years, rain or shine. Diwali, Ramsar, Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever it may be. We are feeding them without any break. Up.
He could have been a highly paid master chef. 10 years ago, Krishnan was on his way to a 5-star career. He'd graduated from a prestigious hospitality course and been offered a lucrative job at a hotel in Switzerland. The high culinary world was before him, until he stumbled upon a deeply disturbing scene that would stop him in his tracks. It was grim and confronting.
I saw a very old man. He must be somewhere around 75 to 80 years old. He was having his own human waste for hunger. I was shocked and freezed for a second. What is happening? What is this guy doing?
Krishnan returned to his upmarket restaurant, his head spinning and stomach churning.
That night I thought, what am I doing? I'm selling a plate of fried rice for $10 in my star hotel, wherein people come and have food for fantasy, fun, joy and recreation, not for hunger. No. They eat only half portion of it and leave half in the plate. It was a spark, very powerful spark, which I had.
Krishnan still cooks with passion, but now he serves those who would otherwise go hungry, Madurai's mentally ill, dispossessed and dumped.
We started the cooking process at 10 o'clock in the morning. The food will be ready. The vegetable pulao and the sabji will be ready in 1.5 hours.
So you can cook food for hundreds of people in just an hour?
Maximum. Maximum. Let's go!
India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. And here too, food has generated a celebrity culture of television chefs and high-end cuisine. It's one of the more graphic examples of the ever-expanding gulf between rich and poor. There's a rush on here to buy more, eat more, own more.
Food is a really powerful indicator of where India is at the moment. Traditionally, people bought their vegetables, their spices and herbs from markets like this one. But now things have changed. There are two extremes. At one end of the scale, there are hundreds of millions of people who've become very wealthy in this country, who've left this kind of diet and lifestyle behind, but are now facing issues like obesity and diabetes. But hundreds of millions of other people are still stuck in poverty. They have children who are stunted, and many families are still struggling to find enough food to eat each day.
It's even more difficult for those with no family at all. Pandi doesn't speak anymore. Mental illness and a family breakup have left him all alone, despite the hundreds of people who pass here every day.
And they do not know that Pandi is sitting here. Like dogs are there on the road, like how dust is there on the road, like how garbage boxes are on the road. Human beings are also same for them. Nobody's bothered.
Krishnan is bothered. He sees the disparities like few others and views India's new rampant consumption with contempt.
They have 10 cars. They can travel in only one car. They have 50 slippers, 100 shoes, 20 watches. For what? They're mad? The people on the road are not mad. People who buy so much stuff and dump in the wardrobe are mad.
It's a surprising viewpoint. After all, Krishnan has been very much a part of his nation's upper castes. Krishnan grew up in the folds of a comfortable, well-off Brahmin family. But he was always different.
He was like that in his childhood itself, parting with all the material things what he had.
At first, his parents struggled to understand why he gave away a promising career to work with destitute street people. But now they're proud of him and value what he's taught them.
He used to think everything alike, beggars, mentally ill. So I used to think everyone alike, but he taught me the difference.
So often mothers are teaching lessons to their sons, but in your case, was it almost the other way around, that your son was teaching you?
That's right, I was not a teacher, he was a teacher to me. People used to ask me, how did you brought up you? I didn't brought up my child, he only brought up me. That is the irony.
Many Brahmin Hindus have a strict code of behaviour, especially around food preparation and eating. For generations, they've been taught that some of the poor are untouchable. Senior community figures frowned on Krishnan's work.
They said, no, you're not do that. You're a Brahmin. You must not do it. I said, oh, fine. If that's going to bother you, I'll throw that out. I'm not a Brahmin. Now I'm not Brahmin. I'm a human being.
Feeding the poor and disadvantaged is one thing, but in caste-conscious India, this is a revolutionary act. The simple ritual of touching and bathing those who are said to be untouchable is a big shift. For 72-year-old Murugan, it's a cherished moment of kindness.
He has got a family. Even now he has got a family. His wife is dead. He has got a son and daughter. They've thrown him out of the house because he has got no money to live. He's just on the road. He never speaks. We are feeding him for the last 6 years. He has given birth to the kids. He's been playing a very active role in the family. But because he has got no money now, the family has ditched him, which is something very, very bad.
It's the sad face of abandonment in India.
So nobody is coming forward to clean these people. And I personally feel happy to do so. How am I going to use my time? Seeing televisions? Watching movie? Updating the Facebook? Orkut? No. With the human beings.
The treatment of the mentally ill, or lack of it, has a tragic history in this part of India, where services have been scarce and traditions strong.
Well, we're on the road going to another town about 3 hours away. At this place in 2001, a terrible incident happened that shocked many of the people involved in mental health in Tamil Nadu and really highlighted the plight of some of the most vulnerable people in this region.
Like Madurai's pilgrims, the people who flock to Awadi from all over India are on a mission of faith, but there's a tense desperation here. They come with their loved ones whom they believe are cursed in the hope of magic and miracles, anything that will soothe or even end the torment of inner demons. The town's Muslim shrine has a reputation as a place of healing for people of all creeds.
இந்த மாந்திரீகத்தை வந்து சரியாக்கக்கூடிய ஒரே பவர் பாதுஷா நாயக் குத்துபு சுல்தானுக்கு மட்டும்தான். இந்து வராங்க, முஸ்லீம் வராங்க, கிறிஸ்டின் வராங்க, எல்லாரும் மாந்திரீகத்தில் பாதிக்கப்பட்டு இங்கே சரியாயிட்டு போறாங்க.
The leaders of the shrine give us permission to film inside, and what we see is extremely disturbing. The paranoid, the bewildered, many frightened and confused, all camp on the hot sands around the shrine. They're mentally ill, but they're not diagnosed or offered psychiatric care. Instead, they're told and believe they're possessed by evil spirits, and they're offered coconut oil said to be blessed by a Muslim saint.
அவங்களுக்கு வந்து டென்ஷன் இல்லாதனால 41 டேஸ்ல கியூர். அந்த ப்ரேயரை வந்து காட் கிரியேட் பண்ணி நமக்கு தரனால கியூர் ஆகுது.
It's a blur of religion and superstition. Indira is trapped in a cycle of ritualistic behaviour, trying to rid her mind and body of pain. She came here with physical symptoms.
ஒரு வருஷமா வயிறு வலியா இருந்து எங்கெங்கயோ பாத்துச்சு நல்லா அவள அப்புறம் இந்த சைத்தான் இருக்க போய் தெரிஞ்சு பாவ எடுத்துக்கிட்டேன்.
The diagnosis at the shrine is that her body has been infiltrated by 1,000 devils.
இங்க இருக்கறப்ப எனக்கு பயம் தெரியல. ஊர்ல இருக்கறப்ப பயம். இங்க வந்து பாவத்துல வந்து பயம் தெரியல. அது கணக்கு எடுக்கறப்ப மட்டும் தான் அந்த மாதிரி அந்த பயம் தெரியும்.
Indira's come here with her 11-year-old son Razkar, hoping God will bring her some inner peace. But in an instant, the calm is gone and Indira is back into her own world of suffering. Her son can only look on, helpless and frightened. In another corner of the shrine, Ganamani sits patiently with his ill wife, Petchinal. Neither understands what's wrong with her, but Ganamani doesn't believe it's anything that conventional medicine can treat.
இவளுக்கு ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு இது ஆகுது அப்படின்னா நம்ம சரின்னு பொண்ணு ரெண்டாவது கூப்பிட்டு போவோம். அதெல்லாம் இல்லை, சிரிப்பா திடீர்னு அழுக வரும். இது ரெண்டு தான், வேறு எதுவுமே செய்ய மாட்டான். ஆமாம், அவார்டில் சிரிச்சுக்கிட்டே இருப்பாள். அப்புறம் அவார்டில் அழுவா, வேறு ஒன்றுமே வராது. ஆமாம்.
Priests told Ganamani his wife is affected by the devil. Her mental illness has left her unable to care for herself.
இவ்வளோ 5 வருஷம் ஆச்சு, ஒரே குழந்த மாதிரி இருக்கா. அதான் எடுத்து இவளை விட்டு சரி அப்படின்ட்டு சரின்னு. ஆமாம், அது இப்படி இருக்கான்னு நினச்சா அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் ஆச்சு. அதுக்கப்புறம் ஆனாலும் சரி, இவளை கடைசி வரைக்கும் இருக்கட்டும் அப்படின்னு தான் சரி அப்படின்னு.
The tragedy is that in India, many people simply don't understand that mental illness is treatable and the drugs are relatively cheap here. But there's only one psychiatrist for every 1 million people, and most of them are in the cities. For many, this is the best on offer. Some people live in Awadi for years, hoping for a cure.
இங்கே வந்தோன்னா அவங்க ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமாக இருக்கிறாங்க. இங்கே ஒரு ஃபேமிலியாக இருக்கிறத நாங்கள் தான். ஒன்று அவங்க க்யூர் ஆனாலும் கூட அவங்க இங்கேருந்து வீட்டுக்கு போக இஷ்டப்பட மாட்டாங்க.
Many at least feel at home here, far from the abuse and victimisation. Catering to them has become a business in the back streets around the shrine, where dozens of guest houses have become de facto unregulated asylums. It's also our final destination on our journey here.
Well, back in 2001, there was a private mental asylum on this site behind me. At that time, it was very common practice for mentally ill patients to be chained so that they could be restrained in these kind of facilities. But tragedy struck here. A terrible fire swept through this asylum and the patients who were chained up were unable to escape. You can imagine the terror for those people unable to get out as the fire tore through this building. What happened here not only changed the practices in this area, but grabbed headlines around the world about the treatment of mentally ill people in some parts of India.
After the bad publicity, the Indian government drastically increased spending on mental health and tried to enforce laws protecting the rights of patients.
நோ செயின் போடாமல் இருக்கணும், நமக்கு மட்டும் அலோடு தந்துருக்குறாங்க. அந்த அலோட் பிரகாரம் கவர்மெண்ட் சொன்ன பிரகாரம் நாங்கள் கரெக்டாக க்யூராக பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருக்கோம்.
But it seems cruel and primitive practices die hard. Clearly, some families still shackle their mentally ill relatives to keep them under control.
இல்ல, அது சங்கல போட்டது. அது முன்னாடியே பைத்தியக்காரன் இருந்த மரத்துல கட்டி போட்டுருந்தார்.
Is your baby?
This man, Abdul Rauf, has been living in Awadi for 14 years, 4 of them shackled to a tree, and his chains are still in use.
அது இங்க இது போறதில்ல, இழகுறதில்ல. செய்தா இழகுவேன். அந்த இதில் யாருக்கிட்ட சண்டை போறதுனால பின்னாடியே கட்டி போட்டுருவேன்.
The magnitude of neglect seems insurmountable, but one man at least is undeterred.
What else can bring in happiness? A Mercedes Benz, a Rolls Royce,
We return from the mayhem of Awadi to find Krishnan at the site of his dream project outside Madurai. He's building a home for those who have no one and nowhere to go. Eventually, he hopes there will be enough space for more than 400 people.
It's exciting to come out and see the building taking
Of course,
place.
yes. I almost come here thrice a week or 4 times a week to see what's happening because it's more than my house. I feel it's a Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
At the very least, there'll be 3 meals a day, shelter, and someone who cares.
Whenever I go to bed, I used to think, when are my people on the road going to sleep in a roof like where I am sleeping? So that is the ultimate purpose of my life.
Krishnan realises it will take more than food and love to meet the complicated needs of hundreds of people with mental illnesses. It's a start.
I believe only 2 things. They are human beings, I am human beings. They are made out of blood and flesh, I am made out of blood and flesh. They want love, I can give them love. That's it.